Oh, Jimmy Butler, your return to Miami. Oh, buddy. Return back to the scene of the crime where you led the Heat to two finals appearances, two Eastern Conference championships, your your tenure with Eric Spoelstra, your headbutt rants with Pat Riley, suspended almost as many times as you went to the finals, and definitely as many times you went to the Eastern Conference finals. How it ended, and now you're saying it's just another game. And I saw some footage a few hours ago with you and Draymond Green playing bones, playing dominoes on the sidewalks. Boy, what an interesting pairing you two are. Maybe that's why Steph Curry took time off because he had a headache. We'll see. Anyway, Golden State has people thinking that they could be a sleeper team in the West. Miami's got, if you're a Heat fan, you're thinking we can't wait for the draft. Get this nightmare of a season over. And as a Heat fan, and I might do a video about it, what has been the tougher year? Was it 10 years ago or was it this one? 10 years ago, the departure of LeBron James and the Heat turnover and how that went down. And eventually, Dwayne Wade left and went to Chicago after that year and that whole mess. And we got Gordon got uh, Gordon Drakovich got him from Phoenix, and he came in. That was a whole interesting cycle and time. But that's an interesting video that I might have to explore. Being a Heat fan, the 2014, 2015 versus the 2024, 2025 nightmare. If you're a Heat fan, you know exactly what I mean. The unknown and how it so mirrors, but in a different way. One guy leaves because he wants to go back home. The other guy's told to stay home. This is the craziness. But anyway, I got to take this one on because it is my team. And they battling for a play-in tournament, which they should just not even bother. They won a game. Andrew Wiggins gave you that game that you've been like, you see, if you did this even the half more often, you and Ben Simmons would have been two of the most important players of the last 10 years because you both got that kind of, if you ever seen the movie Let's Do It Again with Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby and the hypnosis with Jimmy Walker and is Bootney Farnsworth and the late Calvin Lockhart, is Biggie Smalls and John Amos, the late John Amos. A lot of great talent at Julius Harris and, you know, um, a lot of great talent in that movie. But my point is, it's almost like these cats are in the like they sleepwalk and then they wake up and they have these outer bodies. Because Andrew Wiggins went off against Charlotte. Now, mind you, don't get excited. Him and Ball, get beaten in Charlotte. They ain't, but when you ain't won in 10 games, when you look like you just gonna catch L's left and right, and Wiggins of all, I'm like, yeah. But so far the trade, I mean, people are looking for returns on the trades. You don't know nothing. The Luka AD thing is gonna be a seesaw unless both are healthy. You don't know nothing. But I get excited. This here though does look one sided because Jimmy Butler's pulled this stunt before. He leaves somewhere, he goes somewhere, and it's like Cinderella gets her magic shoe back and it fits, and then it breaks by 12:01. He's back to his shenanigans. He don't have a lot of options left. If he messes up in Golden State, he better not mess with Steph Curry. But he found his soulmate with Draymond Green. They buddy buddy. But what do I think? How do I think it'll be perceived? They have to give him a video tribute. They have to acknowledge him. Now, will Pat Riley be there? Will he put on the stank face? And for a lot of people, they want Pat Riley to leave the building because they think it's time. I think they both were at fault. I think Jimmy Butler, malcontent, his routine of always acting like that, and he wanted more money. You got to play out your contract. You signed, you got to play it out. I know he was doing the Jermaine Stewart. We don't have to take our clothes off, hairdos, and trying to, with his press and clip. But he tried to be a distraction. He was never a frontier dude. He's a strong sidekick. I always say a low first, high second tier player who, when you have an alpha like a Steph Curry, he's dangerous. And you're seeing the results. All due respect to Bam Adebayo, who I like Bam a whole lot. Bam is not a frontline dude himself. And Tyler Hero isn't either. And I like them cats. You need an alpha dude to say, get on my shoulders. And then when you get a dude who can ball, who's got that stand still, then this team could be something. But right now, Just as much as I tell people, Chicago Bulls fans, I'm gonna tell you right now about the Miami Heat. They basically an auction team. That's my term. I'm gonna have to get the thing copywritten. But the term I come up with terms. Auction team means a team that's got a lot of interesting parts, and these guys score a lot of points, and they're fun, or they're entertaining, or they got something there, but they're not winning nothing. They'll catch more L's, and they just taking them space. They can score a lot. They're not memorable. They're auction. Means somebody can make a bid on them and take them, and then and that's what you get. And there are teams like that in the NBA. Sad to say, that's what the Sacramento Kings became, and sad to say that's what happened to De'Aaron Fox, who I had a lot of expectations for. Now he went to San Antonio, and he didn't become a double auctioneer because that's all it is. You just an auction team at this stage. You ain't playing. You ain't even fit to play into nothing. You fit to be auctioned. Maybe you go somewhere and you'll play better ball, but it ain't happening. But I hope the Heat fans give him his due. I mean, he did bring success there. I mean, runner up ain't nothing to sneeze at, especially when they were overmatched against Milwaukee and overmatched against Boston. So he does count for something, and also respect to Rachel Nichols. I hope they give her a stand ovation because she did come through for Jimmy Butler in the bubble in 2020. But anyway, you got to give him his due. But it ended ugly, and it's been an ugly season as a Heat fan. It's ugly. Eric Spoelstra is a great coach, Hall of Fame worthy, one of the 15 greatest coaches ever, right? And he definitely showed that he can lead teams, etc. However, I do think he's headed to taking over for Pat Riley in another year or two in that office, and there'll be another new head coach for the Heat. I definitely think they got a different. The Heat culture is not there. Shooting three ball, trying to emulate the Splash Brothers, doing a triple junior Whopper version is not where it's at. They gave someone like Max Strauss and them went to Cleveland, and some of the other guys that spread it out. The team that did go against Denver in the finals and they were clearly overmatched, didn't have enough, and they still can't beat Denver to save their lives right now. But they played with a lot of heart, Duncan Robinson and those guys. And I do wish Jimmy Butler the best because he's playing with the best guy that can will you and make you motivating Steph Curry. So I'm glad that he's getting a strong second opportunity. And Pat Riley gonna have to retool away, and they're supposed to gonna have to retool away. This will be an interesting game. I don't care what Jim Butler saying; it's just another game. Now, you want to prove him wrong? Well, you don't have to prove nothing wrong. The Heat just won their first game. They've been 1-10 in their last. They stunk up the joint wherever they played. Meanwhile, Golden State's only lost a couple of games. Steph did miss that game against Atlanta with injuries, but they what 12-2, 12-3 with Jimmy Butler, and the Heat are like 1-11 without him. So that's pretty much, and that's with a healthy squad. So that should tell you how dysfunctional bad the Heat season been, especially in the post Jimmy Butler. So that's the Jimmy Butler return to Miami. Let me know your thoughts and your takes. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear. Watch out for another shit if you like, and hit that membership. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out. Peace.